The extinction of the dinosaurs may be the most iconic event in natural history. People love the element of mystery, the thought that all this happened before we were even here. But in recent years, we've obtained a wealth of information regarding this tragic event, even to the point where there is very little mystery about it. It is well accepted that a meteor impact is at least partially at fault here, but believe it or not, this route was not explored until the 1980s. This subject could be its own video, but to summarize,
a man named Charles Lyell
said that natural processes never happen rapidly, and nobody even considered challenging his ideas until long after his death.
When the word got out, father and son team Luis and Walter Alvarez made connections between late Cretaceous rock and iridium, an element that is 720 times more common in space than on Earth. And in the Italian rock layer representing the few hundred years between the Mesozoic and the Cenozoic, they found tons of it. In fact, by analyzing these iridium deposits from Italy and Denmark, Lewis and his colleagues used this formula and a little bit of high school math to accurately calculate the size of the meteor before the crater was even found. And when Antonio Camargo and Glenn Penfield, geologists on the hunt for petroleum, did find the crater, you want to know where it was? Oh, not far from there, only Mexico. The asteroid was estimated to have been about 4 miles in diameter and was set ablaze by friction upon hitting the Earth's atmosphere. When it made landfall in what is now the Yucatan Peninsula, it landed in the ocean and vaporized, sending towering tsunamis and violent earthquakes in every direction. On top of this, tiny glass beads and shards would have formed in the air from melting debris and rained down like bullets. Further away from the impact site, animals would have seen the light and felt the destructive shock waves from the explosion, but curiously, all of this would have happened to them in dead silence. It wouldn't be until a few minutes later would they hear the deafening roar of the impact, which took much longer to reach their location. Though the events of the impact sound horrendous, it wasn't the deadliest killer. Once the chaos settled down, for the most part, the atmosphere was now full of dust, carried across the globe by easterly winds. Soon enough, the Earth was trapped in an orb of dust that completely blocked out the sun for about a year. Temperatures dropped, photosynthesis could no longer happen, and the food chain began to collapse. Ultimately, about 70% of life on Earth was wiped out. Among these victims were pterosaurs, large marine reptiles, tree-dwelling birds, who actually had to re-evolve from scratch due to all the trees dying, and most notably, the dinosaurs. After this, mammals filled in pretty much every open niche they could find, and diversified like crazy. The age of reptiles was over, and the mammals were finally taking their turn. I theorize that the next mass extinction will wipe out mammals, and the throne will be passed on yet again. Who's going to be brave enough to take it and rule the next era of biodiversity? Only time will tell, as it always has.